Al-Burj, or simply tower in Arabic, has been known by several names throughout its history. Its first mention was during the Crusader period as Castrum Ficum, the fig tree castle. Muslims at that time called it Majdal al-Habayib or Bajdal al-Janab. Excavations at Al-Burj have yielded objects dating as far back as the Copper and Bronze Ages. Significant Roman and Byzantine archaeological remains suggest there was a roadside inn complete with a Roman bath at Al-Burj. The main road connecting Bir Sheba, Hebron, and Beit Jibrin passes near Al-Burj. Later, agriculture and industry flourished there as well. In the 12th century, its namesake citadel was built on a hilltop to defend the southern border of the Crusader Kingdom of Jerusalem, which included Palestine. The citadel was constructed on a series of caves, tunnels, and water wells. And defended by a perimeter moat cut into the rock. A fortified tower inside the citadel was surrounded by a sloping defense wall, or glacis. A small chapel was built into the citadel's southern wall. After the Crusader army was defeated by Salah ad-Din in the Battle of Hittin, the citadels in southern Palestine, including Al-Burj, fell to the Ayyubids. Al-Burj citadel was destroyed in the Third Crusade by Richard the Lionheart and has since remained in ruins. The nearby caves, as well as the ones in the moat, began to be used as homes by the local inhabitants and their animals. Stones from the citadel were reused to build houses in the surrounding area. We can see some typical Crusader building techniques in Al-Burj citadel. Reinforcement of walls by inserting a scaffolding of stone columns. The use of larger stones to further fortify corners. And the glacis. The many caves, houses, and sheds of the old village of Al-Burj clustered around the citadel and were once the dwellings of the poorer families in the area. They are now mostly deserted or neglected, as the town of Al-Burj has since expanded down the slope of the hill to the wall of separation. The old village of Al-Burj is noteworthy for its range of historical Palestinian dwellings, caves, hosh or courtyard housing, simple type houses, and rural houses. It even has structures combining these dwelling types. The natural caves of the region are the area's oldest inhabited dwellings. They were equipped and organized for the needs of their inhabitants. A sahawa, or sleeping loft, enclosures and troughs for the animals, and even carved niches and holes for lamps and food storage. As the family and their livestock lived in the same space, the cave would become crowded as the family grew. By the early 19th century, The inhabitants in the region began to build and live in detached stone houses, leaving the caves to be used for storage and to shelter their animals. These single-family houses were often enlarged as the family grew, by adding residential wings, storerooms, barns and pens, becoming a complex around an internal courtyard. This courtyard, or hosh, was enclosed by the surrounding houses and functioned as a barrier between the private and public domains. The hosh was the focus of domestic activities. Children played in the hosh, adults could chat and work there, and it contained the water cistern and the taboon, or baking oven, which often served several households. The house's main entrance opened onto the hosh. Next to the entrance was a mastabe, or raised platform, where one could entertain guests, dine, or even sleep on warm summer nights. Near the mastabe was the zir, a clay jug incorporated into the wall to keep the drinking water cool. Another type of dwelling in Elburj, known as the simple type house, is completely uncharacteristic of traditional Palestinian villages, where the houses are usually clustered together. Built at the turn of the 20th century, these simple type houses are single-family, detached structures with intricately inscribed and decorated doorway arches. Some even bear their construction date. Ancient stones were usually repurposed in the construction of these homes. The rural Palestinian house was a larger single-family home, with a living room in the front and a room in the back, divided into 2 levels and connected by steps. The upper level was paved with lime mortar and used for sleeping. Hawabi, or different-sized storage bins, sectioned off the room to provide privacy for the family members sharing the space. The lower level was for storage and for the animals. Recently, the Italian NGO CRIC, in partnership with Educate Italia, the Italian Network for Disability and Development, the Land Research Center, and the Mosaic Center, with the Palestinian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, carried out a project funded by the Italian Agency for Development Cooperation. This project, called Sumud in Freeland, has carried out conservation activities to preserve and enhance parts of El-Burj citadel and adjacent structures. The project rehabilitated an area house and 2 caves into this storytelling house and coffee shop. Particular attention was paid to in access in the form of ramps and walkways, wheelchair accessible facilities, and braille panels in both English and Arabic. Collaborating with the Palestinian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, the project also conserved the outer wall of the citadel and excavated the small church, a portion of the internal tower, and the glacis.